I felt really optimistic when I woke up the next morning. Feels like today's task is gonna be a good one. I was still in a good mood when Erik began his announcement.
Good morning. So, some people apparently take issue with not being able to skip the task without gaining points.
Why would they think they could get points for skipping?
While I cannot allow someone to get the same or more points from skipping than someone would from actually completing a task, I have come up with a compromise. Whether you make use of it is up to you. People have complained about the clues being too strange. So today you will have no clue. Instead, the terms of the task will be plainly outlined. Head to your team's meeting room for instructions. That is all.
I wonder what's up with him. His speech deflated my spirits a bit, but I tried to shrug it off as I headed to the meeting room. Only Mr. Wolf was there when I arrived. This is like the first task meeting.
Good morning, Miss Archer.
Good morning, Mr. Wolf.
The others seem to be taking their time.
Yeah. Any idea what today's task is going to be about?
Not really. I mean, there was a guy here with instructions when I arrived, but he left. He said something about waiting until we were all here before returning. I guess he doesn't want to repeat himself.
Guess so.
Right, I'm here. Sorry I'm late, but can we start... Wait, where's Mr. Bandages?
No clue.
Maybe he overslept?
Maybe. I suppose there's nothing we can do about it except wait.
Someone could go wake him up. Right after I said that, he stumbled into the room.
Somehow, I don't think that's necessary.
Mr. Bandages, are you okay?
Fine.
You look a little under the weather, and that's putting it nicely.
I'm fine. Now can we get this started?
We have to wait for the instructions guy to come back.
Ugh.
He swayed on his feet.
Maybe you should take a seat.
Or go back to bed. This game isn't more important than you...
Cut it out! I can do this task, I'm fine.
Your definition of fine seems different from mine.
Mr. Bandages just glared at the Count. The man with the instructions chose that moment to return.
Now that everyone is here, we can get this task started. Please, everyone take a seat.
We all sat down, but Mr. Bandages kept glaring.
Today's task is extra hard to make up for the chance to skip the game and still gain points. It's...
Mr. Bandages jumped out of his seat and slammed his hands onto the table.
The what?
I take it you didn't listen to this morning's announcement then. Erik added it in.
Why would he even... That's just stupid! Why the hell would anyone even bother with the task?
Actually...
What kind of lame brain...
Sit down and shut up.
Why, you...
You look like you're on the verge of passing out, and your little hissy fit isn't about to change anything. So for once, just be quiet. Honestly, you're giving me a headache.
Mr. Bandages reluctantly lowered himself back down onto his seat. The man with the instructions cleared his throat nervously before continuing.
There is a way to skip the task, but I doubt anyone would try it. It's a luck-based game, and losing means you forfeit not only this task points, but yesterday's as well. There's only a 1% chance of success, and...
I'll do it.
The hell you will! I'm not letting you throw away our chance to earn points!
Mr. Bandages has a point. Maybe we should see what the task is like before you make a decision.
Fine.
The task requires the four of you to collect certain objects from around the mansion.
That doesn't sound so bad.
Estate, that is.
Oh, the whole estate?
Yes, and the servants are not allowed to speak to you during this time. This task has a time limit of 1 hour, and the rooms the items are located in are booby-trapped.
Someone pissed Erik off, didn't they?
Is this task even possible to complete?
Depending on where the items are, it might be possible. But it'd take a lot of work, and I'm not sure Mr. Bandages could.
I'm fine. I can do this.
That's what you say, but your body seems to disagree.
Not like it matters. I'm taking the luck game.
But that's a 1% chance. Are you sure you want to?
Well, I'd love to say go for it. I have to acknowledge that the odds are against you.
Trust me on this.
You can't be serious. This is preposterous. Be sensible.
Sometimes being sensible isn't sensible.
That doesn't even make any sense.
Look, you're in no condition to go running around the estate, and what happens if you end up needing medical help because the exertion makes your condition worse? You can't win the game if you can't even play it. He turned to Mr. Wolf and the Count.
You guys can't let her.
I actually think she has a valid point.
Me too. I'd rather forfeit some points than risk your health.
What, do you guys care about me now?
Looks like you've been outvoted. Deja vu?
So, you're really going with the luck game?
Yes,
Don't say I didn't warn you.
I won't. He pulled out a small device from his coat and placed it on the table.
This machine will generate a number from 1 to 100. If you guess the right number, your team gets 5 points.
Okay,
What's your number?
22. The man starts the device.
I don't believe it.
What? What happened?
See for yourself.
He pushed the device closer to us. It chose my number!
Wow, that's amazing!
Looks like we have our own Lady Luck.
So we get 5 points now?
Yes, today's task is over for your team. I'll just be leaving now.
The man gathered up his things and left. For a moment, we all just sat there, stunned. Then the Count broke the silence.
So how did you get sick anyway?
I took a swim in the lake.
Why would you... You fell in, didn't you?
Shut up!
You probably should go back to bed now that the task is done. Stay away from swimming until after the game is over.
Get lots of fluids and plenty of rest.
Yeah, I'm going. All being around you guys is doing is adding to my headache.
All that suspense made me hungry.
Me too. Hey, wait! We didn't get breakfast!
You're right!
You could probably ask one of the staff to provide something. Or just get something from the pantry.
Sounds good. Where's the pantry?
I'll just show you.
Mr. Wolf and I followed the Count through the hallways until we arrived at a large set of double doors.
The kitchen is through these doors.
Even as he said it, he was already pushing one of them open. He went up to the nearest of the serving staff.
Excuse me. Could you see to it that Mr. Bandages has breakfast sent up to his room? He seems to be unwell.
The server nodded and set about to putting a breakfast tray together.
Well, Miss Archer, Mr. Wolf, I'll leave the two of you to it. Enjoy the food.
It was nice of him to do that.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it with how they argue, but I think they might just be friends.
Seems like it.
Yeah. Now, I wonder what there is to eat in a fancy kitchen like this.
This place looks better stocked than some of the restaurants I used to work at.
You used to work at a restaurant? What kind?
Well, the last one was a 5-star seafood restaurant, and they were always well stocked, but never to this extent.
5-star, huh? You must have met some interesting people working there.
Yeah, it's actually where I met my manager.
Well, that sounds like an interesting story.
It really isn't.
I find it very interesting. How did he find out you could sing? Were you singing to yourself while working or something? Did you serenade a customer? Were you in the men's...
My boss didn't care what I did on my breaks as long as I didn't disturb the guests, so I used to play the piano in the corner of the room. I loved that job because I'd never gotten to play on an actual grand piano before. There's just something about playing on one of those that makes it feel so different from playing on a keyboard.
Now I see it.
See what?
How someone as shy as you became a singer. You really love music to the point where you lose yourself in it. That's how you can sing in front of crowds, isn't it?
When I'm singing, it's like the whole world just melts away.
You know, Mira always watches those singing competitions and talks about how people are so passionate about their music and how they connect with it in the audience, but I always thought it was just words. Guess you proved me wrong.
Who's Mira? A friend of yours?
Yeah, Mira's my best friend. She can be a lot to deal with, but I'd never trade her for anyone else. She's impulsive, outgoing, and pretty blunt, but her heart's in the right place. You know, I think she'd like you. Or like getting you to blush, anyway.
What?
Muriel loves making guys squirm.
I see.
I remember this one time, we were...
Prawn ravioli with seafood bisque.
What?
We can, make it. It was the signature dish at the restaurant I worked for.
Sounds delicious. And you know the recipe?
Yeah, I used to do shifts in the kitchen when they were busy.
And you could, hypothetically speaking, teach someone to make this dish?
Yeah, do you want me to teach you?
Yes, please.
Alright, well, do you think they'd mind us using part of the kitchen to cook?
Only one way to find out. I asked the head chef if it'd be okay for us to use a part of the kitchen, and he agreed, even going as far to say that if there was anything we needed that the kitchen didn't stock, we could tell him and he'd make sure it was procured. Mr. Wolf was a very patient teacher who explained things in an easy-to-understand manner, and we managed to cook the ravioli with no mishaps. When it was done, we decided not to eat it in the crowded kitchen, and instead took our dish to the courtyard. I took a bite and nearly moaned in bliss. This is really good. The restaurant owner must have been really sad when you left.
It's all thanks to your hard work. You really know your way around a kitchen.
You're not the only one who's worked in a few restaurants.
You did too? Where?
Nowhere nearly as prestigious, and I can honestly say none of them had anything this good. You'd make a good husband.
You'll make a good wife too.
Thanks. I pick up a flask of tea and take a sip while looking over the beautiful courtyard. I'm going to be sad when this getaway is over. For all the strange tasks, I've really started to like it here.
Me too.
Must be the gorgeous food.
Yeah, that's it.